folks at home, welcome back to Ike Live. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday night. I know I am. This is a good Friday night. Dude, it feels like a little bit of a reunion going on here tonight, Dave.
I would
John
not be in the
McGraw.
same room with all of us.
No.
Pete, look on his phone.
I know.
You,
Yeah.
him. And,
This is nice.
and Eric.
Me and Brian have had this conversation before. The nice thing about this show is, as you get older, you get busy, you have family, you have work, you have all these things going on. The great thing about Ike Live is that it gives us a great excuse to hang out, which I love. It doesn't feel like work. It's really nice. It's fun.
I think about. I'm a constant lottery player, right? I play the same numbers. I'm the one of the guys that gets it 21 days in advance. I let the tickets ride.
Yeah.
Like I see
you. Talk to Plockins?
Have you ever won?
No, of course not. I see you. I see you because of the show. Because you're a real busy guy. I see Brian because of the show, but I never get to see this dude.
It's nice.
It's
awesome.
But when I think about winning the lottery, I think about all of us. I think about getting to hang out with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we never get to see each other, man.
It's nice. It's nice. I think back to a lot of the fishing experiences we've had with John. But, dude, and there's so many good memories. Pete, you close your eyes and you can remember fishing with your friends, fishing with your buddies, and you can remember exact moments of when you went fishing with them. And I have so many with all of us, with you, with Dave, with Brian, with Eric, and with John. I have a lot, but there's one that sticks in my head and I'm gonna take you back, John and Brian the Carpenter are listening because I think you were there. Dave, I don't know if you were there. Maybe Rick King, I feel like might have been there. I don't remember.
Rest in peace.
But we were at rest in peace.
How's that funny?
We were at Almanesson Lake, and this is an early trip with John McGraw. This is when John had fished as a kid, but he wasn't into it.
Didn't fish a lot. I remember this.
Yeah, he didn't fish a lot.
I know what you're
he
talking
wasn't
about.
into it like we were.
It was me, you, and Brian.
Yeah, me and Brian, and we went to Almanesson Lake, Pete, and we're wading around. And at the time, it was like Texas rig worm, like a culprit. It was floating worm.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was wacky rig, bro.
With the
Wacky
weight
rig.
and then
wacky rigging. And
Yeah.
this is
split shot.
Yo,
yeah.
color selector creme worm.
Color selector.
That's what time it was.
Yes, the color
Cream
selector, in particular, the cream or creme orange.
yeah, orange.
Orange.
Marmalade.
So it's like a methylate trick worm
Yeah,
back in the day.
yeah.
And I remember, John's still getting used to it. He doesn't know. He's tying it on. He's trying to get the feel for it.
We went to freaking Kmart and got a Team
Kmart?
Daiwa freaking spinning rod.
And we switched the price tag on it and got it for like.
No, you didn't.
Oh yeah, we did.
I was Bradley Security at the time. We didn't do that.
And
Your mom dropped us off. We met up at the freaking Wendy's. It's like, oh yeah, Mom, we're gonna meet you over there.
Hold on. A quick digression. I'm sorry, people watch. When we would get those horrible lightning strike power outages, Brian would be like, "Yo, dude, me and Tom are on our way to Kmart. There's no power. I swear to God, never going to clip that joint, dude." Brian, do you remember doing that? You liar. You freaking liar, shaking mouth.
Brian's ghost. Let's hear from Brian's ghost on what happened when Kmart had a power outage.
Hey, Dave, the power's off. Let's go. Get your backpack empty. We're going to fill it up.
Regulators, we ride.
Regulators.
Saddle up.
And so we're at Almanesson, and I feel like we've all caught a couple, 2 or 3 at this point, and John's still throwing his orange worm around. And dude, I vividly remember we're like wading through people's yards. We're probably like at Forcheck's house.
Yeah.
And we're at half
Forcheck. I forgot. Derek Forcheck.
We're in Derek's yard. And freaking John, I remember, thinks he's snagged or something, He thinks he's snagged. He's like, I'm hung up on something, or I'm hung up. And we all kind of stop and look. And Pete, we look out there, and we see his rod moving, but he doesn't know he's
I don't even know any better.
And dude, we look out there on the horizon, maybe 20, 30 feet out there, and this big one, dude, like a 4, 5, 6. I imagine it being a 6-pounder. Jumps and throws the orange worm, and this look on John's face of what just happened. Dude,
I didn't even know. I never even knew I had.
But it hooked him.
Never forget it.
It hooked him right there.
It hooked him.
Yeah.
It had to.
Dude, that was the best time. And the funniest thing is everybody talks about Mike and the passion and everything else. Mike ran like 50 feet, jumped on Brian's back, and knocked him on the freaking ground. Right? Right? Was like, ah! Did you just see that? We're gonna come back 20 years and talk about that exact
crazy.
moment.
I remember that.
Man.
Yeah, it did.
It really
did.
happened.
And there's goose shit all over the freaking ground.
Oh, yeah. You're rolling
and
in
you're
the
rolling
goose
it.
Dude, how much disregard did we have for private property?
All of it.
Back
We had
in-
no regard.
We didn't
Private
even know.
Schmivit.
Pete, did you have any regard for private property when you were a young angler?
Man, I was different from you guys. I knocked on the door.
Ask the homeowner.
Mr. and
We just
Mrs.
rolled.
Jones, may I please fish in your farm pond? And they're like, well, yes, Mr. Glue.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
If you didn't have overhang, that meant you were inviting us to stand on your land and fish, dude.
Oh,
we
my
still
God.
don't.
Mike,
Just know that I'm keeping your spirit alive today because
That's
I
right.
have no regard either.
Oh,
That's
yeah. Ruthless,
Mike,
I had a
man.
chance to
Ruthless.
fish with these two
Yeah.
in the back
Yeah.
recently,
he did.
and Brian brought the Brian Jinx.
Wow.
Right from the get-go.
Wow.
I didn't even get
That's
on
a
the water.
hard
There's no
jinx.
Brian Jinx.
I'd say not every time. I'd say 70% of the time there's a Brian Jinx.
Really? No, not for me,
All right,
dude.
50.
You have the greatest line in the
50.
world.
What's that?
You would rob a bank with Mike, but you would not drive by a bank with stock.
That's true. No, that's true. Did I say that? All right. I mean that, but I don't mean it with fishing. All right.
I run my.
I've had the best days of my life on the water with Brian and you. I've had my best days
I've had
of my
some
life.
really good ones, and I've had
But-
some really bad ones.
I still wouldn't rob a bank with him because he'd find a way to leave his license at the goddamn place or something. You know what I mean? Like he would have a license that he lost, that he didn't know he lost,
He'd leave his keys.
but it'd be attached to the bottom of his work boot, and that'd be the boot we robbed the place in. He'd leave that goddamn thing right there.
Dude, I took my boat out for the first time. I got 10 hours. I ran it through 4-foot waves. I did everything to try to break it so I could be ready to take out some on-water training customers, and I got these two in the boat, and I hit the key, and nothing works. It's all gone.
How much
It's
did
all
he
gone.
touch that? I said I am
We
half
fished on
owner.
the trolling motor all day.
I am half owner of the 8-fish Delaware River record with Brian. Half owner. But I've also been half owner of some of the worst. So
yeah,
how
we
much
didn't
of
weigh
your boat
in,
did
yeah.
he touch that day when it died?
Well,
I didn't.
He's just his ass in the seat, pretty much. but the greatest thing happened while we were fishing that day. We're coming up into this cove, and it's one of the best docks in the cove for pre-spawners, and it's got a floating section with some stairs. And Brian proceeds to try to skip a jig, and it hits everything but the water. It hits the floating section, ricochets off the walkway, hits square right on the dock.
What?
And of course he's got this massive backlash. So he's digging out his backlash, and of course when he does this cast, he just gives you like the dumb look, like the slouch look.
Yeah.
So he's digging out his backlash, and he gets it all out, and he's regrouping. He reels it up, and now the jig has now hung itself on the bottom or something. And as he's reeling up, he's trying to free it out of a 5-pounder's mouth, which he does
Successfully.
successfully.
Wow.
Hold on, if I may.
Yeah, Brian.
In my defense, so I'm flipping with a 7-foot rod all day, and Pete says, "Here, try this one." New casting rods that he's got. So this one's 7.3, and you know when you go to a different rod, right? So I'm trying to flip underneath the dock in between, and it hits the floater, hits that dock, boom, blows up the reel. So I stepped off of Pete's boat onto the floater, picking the backlash out. As I get it all out, I start to reel it up, and the line's like caught on the wood on the dock, so there's tension, and I couldn't tell. that I was slowly winding a 5-pounder up off the bottom.
my God.
Until he got just about to
man.
the top, and he was like, "Ah, dude." I was like, and it's all on video. I don't know what E-Rock did with it, but we do have.
That was awesome.
For those of you that watch these videos that get put together, Brian is actually probably the third best angler in this room. Just so you know, he's not like a scrub. Like, he doesn't always F up, but it's the way he gets these things get edited, you know?
But I had an epiphany or a euphoric moment. That Ultrex, I upgraded some things on the boat. Unbelievable.
The Minn Kota Ultrex.
What's Ultrex? What are you talking about?
Spotlock. Trolling motor.
Ah.
And, for what I'm doing with training and stuff, I can sit back, let my guys up in the front, and I can just remote control the boat right through marinas and pilings, and so they don't have to worry about the motor. They can concentrate on their casting and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's
genius.
unbelievable.
It's like an iRumba for a bass boat.
It's exactly what it's like.
Next time, let us kayak guys know we can tune out for a second.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The Spotlock, like
Spotlock's
30
crazy.
mile an hour
It's game
winds,
changing.
fishing some of them jetties in the pre-spawn,
Yeah.
and you got the current coming out of the Susquehanna and the wind. You just spotlock it,
Yep.
and it just sticks the boat right there. It's,
Wow.
it's pretty amazing.
It's game changer. I've heard a lot. Guys are saying, is the Spotlock going to replace or take over for any of your power poles or talons? And I'll give you my opinion on it, which is no.
No.
Because I think the Spotlock is an amazing feature. It's a great feature when you're fishing deep. It's a great feature, when you're not fishing up close and personal, when you want to stop the boat. But dude, the thing that I have with Spotlock is, that motor's constantly turning on and off to readjust to keep its position. It's
And
constantly
if you're
turning on and off. When I'm in a shallow water situation, I'd still rather have them power poles that just
Hell yeah, you're in the mouth of
And just
Occoquan
grab.
Creek in June. You're
and
not
just
gonna,
grab.
Yeah, you're gonna put
And
the
there's-
poles down.
Yeah, and there's none of that constant movement, blowing. It's just one stop.
That's the next level of
it's quiet.
kayaking I got to get to is getting a pole in the back of that thing. It's
Yeah.
critical. I
power
got to get a
pole,
pole.
micro
So I
spike.
got one question for the whole Spotlock thing. Is that there's an audible sound that goes with the servo that's actually moving the actual head of
Yeah. Yeah,
and you can really hear it.
you can. Sounds like an iRumba.
Oh, they did some stuff with that where you above water, it's a lot more prevalent than below water.
Okay.
The motor, because you hit it and you hear it,
Right.
but yeah, there's underwater. I don't know if it's quite as loud as what we're hearing
Gotcha.
as the operator.
But even still, just to stay parallel to a bank that you're bombing ahead of, man, it's got to be killer. It's got to be killer for you as a guide to be able to sit in your seat and just steer dudes along, man.
You sit there and you deal with stuff where you gotta you might have to rig a rod or you might have to teach somebody a little something, and you can just spot lock it. Let one guy fish, control the other scenarios. It's I'm telling you right now, man, it's a game changer for what I'm doing.
Speaking of game changers, let's look at this video right here.
This
real
is
quick.
after the cast.
Look
The
at
cast
that.
had already
This-
happened.
Somebody again that
This could be a real game-changing video. Let's watch.
bastard.
This is what I need to be doing is wait for an Ike Live for the push-up with this guy up here.
Is that a cricket or a bird?
Eric filming from his pocket.
Oh, there's Brian. Brian's off the dock.
That's Brian, though.
He's off the dock trying to get his backlash out.
That's Stockholm style.
He was on. Come on. It was a giant.
Look at Pete.
It was a fucking 5-pounder. Come on.
What?
I fucking swear to God. What happened? When I had a piece of line that was caught across.
Guys, that's not how Brian does, dude. That's such a sad.
Pete's like, what happened? And then Brian's trying to explain himself. Well, my line was draped across the piling.
Fucking Eric. Leave Eric home, Brian.
No, it's all good.
Brian,
Captured that, but missed his
Yeah.
big fish.
Brian doesn't blow,
I
guys.
boat flipped
Brian,
the 5.5-pounder and the camera was off.
Yep.
Wow. This is
All
crazy.
right, Kevin Van Dam time.
Okay.
Let me get him on the
Okay.
telephone.
Real quick, while we're dialing up Kevin, let me catch you up on two things real quick. First thing, Ike Series rods and reels, Pete. I know I have a lot of comments. Everybody watching. The official launch date of the Ike Rod 2.0 and all the Revo Ike spinning and casting is August 1st. Keep your eye out for that. And then tomorrow happens to be, Eric the intern, is the Ike Foundation Kids Tournament on Haddon Lake from
Yes,
8
indeed.
to 12.
It's going to be a great event.
It's going to be a great event. Expected, we got about over 200 kids pre-registered. Free rods and reels to every kid that's pre-registered and signed up.
And not to mention that those rods and reels are legit.
They're
because
legit.
I took them out yesterday.
Yes.
This is supposed to just be a kid's rod, right?
Well,
no, not
All right,
whatsoever.
after we get Kevin on, can
Yeah,
we see
we got-
a little bit?
we
of the
gotta
footage of
talk
that?
about that.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that.
Jay, what is it? What's your YouTube channel, dude?
I haven't posted there in 2 months. You might not want to shout that out.
Okay.
Eric the intern on Instagram.
All right, we won't shout that out. But here's the other
All right.
thing I'm real proud of. I want to mention real quick for the Ike Foundation Kids event tomorrow, Pete. On Wednesday of this week, we officially stocked the lake with bass, bluegill, and catfish. So the kids will have more opportunity to catch fish. Pretty awesome, man. Stocking lakes.
Little Dave's looking to gun some dudes down this year, dude.
Wow.
We'll be there fresh
Yeah.
and ready to go.
Yep.
I
Jake's coming too.
don't know if I can confirm or deny, but all the fish were dumped right next to the dam. Next to the dam. All the fish were dumped in the dam. Excuse me. Right at the dam.
The kids are staking out their
Nah, but
spots
the-
right now.
But the kids get put where their age group is.
That's true. There is an age group parameter. Yeah.
How old's Jake?
8.
And Vegas is
7.
so it'll be in the same age group then.
Yeah. Vegas isn't going to fish. Vegas is going to help. He's going to be one of the volunteers.
Because last year Dave and Vegas got the fish together, dude. That's the kind of you let the kids fish.
cool.
I'll watch.
Yeah.
Put
He
him in
might
Dave's
fish.
cage.
Folks at home,
He might fish. Brian Carpenter, what do you got for us?
Kevin should be on the phone.
Okay, on the phone. I hope we got him right now, joining us live via phone. And who knows where this guy is at, Pete? Because he's the only guy I know that's busier than me, and that's the
He's
truth.
probably pre-fishing the lake tomorrow.
He might be
Like
pre-fishing.
Live.
I don't know. He might be. Joining us on the phone right now, recent winner of the Grand Lake Tournament happened to be Pete, number 25.
That it?
Number 20. That's
that
it.
it?
Number 25. The one and only Kevin VanDam joins us on Ike Live. Kevin,
KVD.
Hey guys,
what's up?
boy,
How you doing?
pretty tame for this time of night and in a show that long. Usually you're a few more beers in. It sounds like.
I know. Well, here's the deal. And I'm just going to admit it. I admitted it earlier in the show. I'm going to admit it again. I've had a few bad tournaments recently. I've had some 70s and 80th place finishes in the last 2 or 3 events, and we went from really good hard liquor and good beer to really cheap light beer in a can, and it's all my fault. I'm just going to admit it.
Yeah. After the classic and the first time of the year, I was ready to quit drinking. I can tell you that.
Never.
Oh man, Kevin, where are you at? Are you home? Are you traveling like a madman as usual? Or where are you at right now?
I'm actually home. I'm leaving in the morning to head to Texas. So I had after the Kentucky Lake event fiasco for me, I been filming with the Bossy Oak guys. I did a turkey hunt with the boys this week. We had a great turkey hunt, and then we filmed a kind of a lifestyle fishing piece with those guys too. So had a good time with them. There was both weather challenges here, and then just been getting ready, packing and stuff, and I'm leaving tomorrow. So
Okay.
long way from Michigan to Texas.
It's a
Austin, Texas.
That's a good ways. Now I do want to bring it up real quick just because I know I saw you first day on Grand Lake. I had a decent day. You had a decent day. Second day, I had a really, really bad day. You had an okay day. You had an average day, and I ran into you both days fishing in a river called Blood River in Kentucky Lake, which is about mid-lake.
Grant.
What? No, Kentucky Lake.
Oh.
What the hell happened in Blood River on the second day?
You know what? I don't know, because I'm like with you. Dude, the bass in there did not do anything. It was like, it was crazy, because you're exactly right. I went in there the first day, and they were biting, pretty good for me. And, I didn't catch a big limit, but we were at the cut line, or, just above the cut line.
Yeah.
Anyways, and the next day, dude, I couldn't buy a bite in there. So,
No.
and I seen the way you were running around. That you both of us were scrambling. So I should have stopped and talked to you because we should have both left about 3 hours earlier.
I think you're right. I definitely pushed it in there a little bit. The first day, God, they were biting. You know, I had a spinnerbait bite going on, a shad spawn style bite, fishing docks, fishing points, and it just went away. It was so weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't explain
I
it.
don't know. There was no wind. There was no wind at all. That first day, there was some wind, and I think that helped. You know, some too. But I'm like you, man. I've been doing this. You know, you've been doing it a while, but I've been doing it a really long time, and I still learn every single day, man. It just amazes me. When you think you've got things figured out, they definitely can humble you in a hurry.
Yeah, it's crazy. Real quick, Kevin, I know this is going to be a little bit repetitive, but I have to ask it. Number 25. That seems to me, that number when you say it's just a big number. It's hard to even just think about it as far as, you know, winning, because I know we all know how hard it is to actually win. Does that number does it freak you out, or did winning number 25 change something in your mind, or is it just you're as good as your last event and you got to just keep going?
That's kind of it. I mean, I've never competed for the numbers or thought anything about it, and I, before I didn't really think about it. It was kind of later that night after I finished that it kind of hit me like, man, that's a significant. Not that 24 is not, or I mean that because any win is a big deal, as you know.
Yeah.
And but I mean, now I'm thinking about 26. You know what I mean? But it's not because it's 26, but just because that's, you know, when you fish to win, you that's what I don't know. That's what motivates me to the point now where it's detrimental.
Right.
You know, to my overall performance, and that it drives Sherry crazy because I probably take too big a risk now, and I'm okay with shooting for the stars.
Yeah.
I never have the best fishes that I've had the last few years to have them there. And part of that is obviously the competition level is pretty incredible now. I mean, top to bottom, the Elite Series is a really strong group of competitors, but it's still a part of it is my thought processes, and that I'm just not satisfied unless I give myself a shot to be in contention, you know. And if I'm not, I'm not afraid to take long shots anymore. And it's, if you want to win Angler of the Year, you can't fish like that. And, but I can't change myself.
Yeah. Now, I real quick, Pete, I just wanted to, since you mentioned this new group of competition, this group of young anglers that's so good, I just want to mention I've heard it many a times in the last year, and I just want to get your thoughts on it, Kevin. I've heard the comment that Jordan Lee is the new Kevin VanDam. Besides the height difference, do you agree with that?
He's really. I know Jordan really well. I say that only because we share, some sponsors with Quantum and Strike King, and I get to hang out with him at some media events and things like that.
Yeah.
And he is a very intuitive angler, and I don't know. I'm a student of the game, and I look at the best anglers and their perception skills and their ability to adapt and change, things like that is what sets them apart. And he has that it factor. There's no doubt about it. And but in this day and age, it's hard to be. It's hard to keep up that kind of pace. I mean, I know he's as humble as he can be for winning 2 back-to-back classics, but he does have that it factor, in my opinion. But I mean, there's quite a few guys. And you look at Aaron Martins is obviously that guy. Jacob Wheeler's, up and comer. He's a great angler. There's a lot of them out there that have the skills now. It's Wesley Strader. Look at the kind of roll that dude's on.
Yeah.
You see that too, where guys just get in the roll and can carry that momentum. So
Yeah. Well, we found out tonight.
I wish I could fall into that trap, on cue myself. Where you just get in those zones.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about when when things are clicking.
Yeah.
They're clicking, and when they're not, they're not.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we found out tonight that Wesley Strader had a bit part in the Beverly Hillbillies. We never knew that until tonight, so it's pretty interesting. Pete, go ahead. I cut you off I cut you off 10 times. Pete, go ahead.
No, I was just you got 25 wins. I'm chasing you. I've only got 23 more wins to catch you, Kevin. But
you're coming for me.
And if I had another 100 years, maybe I could catch you. But, one of the things you went through this period where you were better than average, but for you were well below, and people were saying some stuff that I couldn't believe I was hearing. Is Kevin over? Has he peaked? Is it? We're not going to see it. You got to have some sense of vindication after winning this tournament, winning another one previous to that. That's got to feel good, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't pay attention to what media people say. I mean, back in the day, Tim Tucker used to say stuff to me all the time. Just to try to get me going. At media days, at Classic, and things like that. I went 5 years without winning, or I think about 5 years, and I had some good tournaments, and I finished second a few times. I just had close calls, but I just didn't get over the hump, and that's all you got to do. I mean, if you put yourself in position to win enough times, it's going to happen. So, I really wasn't too concerned about it, but it does feel good when you finally do get a win. And I've been where last 2 years I've won a tournament again, so it's a big deal. It's all about winning in this day and age, and I mean, it's from the media to the fan base and things like that. It's important to win. It's such a difference maker in every aspect with sponsors and public perception and things like that. I mean, that's what it is in all sports, not just fishing, but it's so hard to do. So, you never know when your next one's going to be, and so you've got to savor it when you do. And that's, I think, probably what I've learned more over the years than anything is to appreciate those times. When you have a really good tournament. For me, it doesn't take necessarily a win, but you make really good decisions and come back. I mean, I've had tournaments that I finished 25th that I'm just so stinking proud of, just because of how things progressed and how it happened. But there's nothing that's like winning. No, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Now I have something, and this is big. Brian Carpenter, man, I don't know if you want to give us a little news flash or whatever. Dave, do you have that? You want to give us a little news flash sound? Because this is big breaking news that I'm going to go ahead and break right here on Ike Live for the first time. Yeah, this is huge. This has not been talked about before, and I'm going to go ahead and be the first one to break it. Give it to us. There it goes. Breaking news. Okay, here it goes. Kevin, I know with live technology on BASS and at Grand Lake, you recovered live on the second and third and fourth final day, and everybody saw what you were throwing, but new technology is instituted in Bass Live that's been able to mask and disguise the actual bait you threw. And I want to admit live and announce live on Ike Live tonight for the first time, the actual bait you used to win Grand Lake was the Demiki rig!
It was a Demiki.
The Demiki rig! The Demiki rig!
Oh, God. The only tournament that I've ever thrown a Demiki rig in, I paid the price. That was at Lake Martin. See where it got me.
That was a silly question, and we joke about the Demiki rig all the time. But Pete, I do want to talk about the power of live and being able to see what the guys are actually throwing and how they're fishing. It's so unbelievable. It's changing the sport. And Kevin, I got to ask you right now. I tuned in that last day on Grand Lake. I tuned in live and watched. And the first thing that I thought of is, not that, man, I missed that area, or I missed that square bill pattern, or I missed the way you were fishing it, reeling it. The first thing I thought is, why the fuck is he throwing a crawdad pattern bait in that dirty water? Gotta tell me that. Talk to me about your decision on picking that color, which was the official color, I think, is called brown crawdad, brown crawl. Tell me a little bit about why you threw that color at Grand Lake. It still got me blown away.
Well, it's pretty simple to me. When I was there in practice, I saw right away, as you did, that the lake was dirtier from the upper end than it normally is. Darker colored water. And the rocks themselves in that lake all had that dark brown algae on them. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Correct? Up by the bank and that. And in nature and in Rocky Lake, and I tried different colors. I tried chartreuse and sexy shad and stuff in practice because I got in that square bill deal pretty quick. But man, they just really like that. And in nature, the real crayfish are basically like a chameleon, and they blend with where they live. And so, if you want to pick the right color bait, if you're fishing a bottom bait, it's, always a good choice is to pick one that's the same color as the bottom. If it's, green milfoil, you pick a bait that's the color of the milfoil, because that's what the bluegill and the crawfish that live in it are going to like. And that's why I chose that. It was a dark color, just like the rocks. It silhouetted good in that dirty water when it wasn't on the bottom, and I knew it looked natural when it was down there. And in the dirtiest water, they can still see a shad that's translucent and eat it. So, I think a lot of times we put too much into color.
Yeah.
But I just wanted it to blend with that background.
Wow.
I never received that background, that blending memo.
Now you did. Now you did.
I did. Well, everybody knows that you can't win a spawning tournament with a square bill.
The thing about it is the fish were spawning, but they were just getting there. We were there. The water was cold leading up to the tournament. The first day it started to warm, and the moon was coming on the weekend, and yeah, there was a spawn going on, but it was the beginning of the spawn. That was just the first few fish of a giant wave coming in, and I kind of knew that. And when those females first pull up, they'll still bite a reaction bait, especially in that color of water when it's stained like that. So, I had the confidence to kind of stick with it. I caught some fish on a jig too, especially the first couple of days, but once I got dialed into the crankbait pattern, it just was so much more efficient at covering more water.
Yeah.
That I was able to, I just felt like it was the best chance to get a quality bite. I was going to get plenty of bites, doing either one, but I just knew that the odds were in my favor to get it in front of more of those 5 or 6 pounders by covering more water, covering more of those different rock transitions with that crankbait.
Yeah.
You were using a low gear ratio reel on that, and that kind of struck me. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Really not low. It's a low gear ratio reel, but it's got a really big spool, and I make sure that the spools are full. So that reel brings in the same amount of line terms most reel companies, like 6-3-1 reel. So it's a little bit. It's not what you think, just because of the size of the spool. The inches per turn are a lot higher just because of the size of the spool on the cranking reel that I use.
Okay, so you were using a 5.1 gear ratio just to mess with us crankbait fishermen.
No, It's actually the reel I was using is Quantum Smoke 200, which is a bigger spool, and it's a 5-3-1. And I think it brings in about 25 inches of line per turn. So it's like I say, it's like most smaller spooled reels that have a 6-to-1 or 6-3-to-1 reel that bring about that same amount of line. So not as slow as you think.
Yeah, well, I was watching you do that, and I mean, when you're only getting a few bites a day, man, it's got to be. I mean, how it's got to be tough to stay that committed to that pattern, like to stop yourself from picking up a jig, picking up in your case an ocho, and firing it under one of them docks, But you never seem to do that. You just stayed completely committed to it with only getting 5 or 6 bites a day. That's got to be a challenge mentally.
The first 3 days, I caught them pretty good early. Within an hour, I had 18 or 20 pounds all 3 of the first, at least 18 pounds the first 3 days. And that gives you a lot of confidence when you got, a solid sack, early in the morning. That last day now, that was a grinder day, but I just stuck with it and felt like I'd get my shots, and I finally did.
Yeah. And you called it. You knew it. Like you knew when you had the winning fish on.
Yeah, I knew it was, well, gosh, it's just the way it goes. I caught a lot of them that week that were not hooked, the way you like them, where they didn't have it choked. And, I've got a pretty good system that works for me. And, that's the biggest thing is you got to do what you have confidence in, whether it's the hook on your crankbait or the color of bait on the rod or the pattern you're fishing. You're a lot better angler if you're fishing your strengths and what you've got confidence in. And it's all different for all of us. And, sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. Like second day at Kentucky Lake last week, I died with it, so it's a way, you don't always, you look good when it all works out, but a lot of other days it don't.
Yeah. All right, Kevin, speaking of products, TH Marine, great sponsor of Ike Live. I know they work with you as well. I'm going to call you to the plate, and I know this is going to be a hard decision for you, but give me your most important TH product on your boat. Give me one of the most important TH product on your boat.
Well, I've got a ton of them that are really darn impressive, but Hydrowave for sure.
Hydrowave.
No question.
Yeah. Hydrowave.
No doubt. I have a ton of confidence in that. I use it every single day. I've seen some amazing things. Technology is important, as you know, and it's another one of those great pieces of technology that can be a difference maker in a lot of cases. So on those tough days, you get the bait fired up, get things happening, and I've just had so many great experiences. There's seen so many things that with that you can't be coincident that many times to have them school around you and stuff.
Yeah, Hydrowave is a great product. All right, I want to switch gears a little bit real quick, Kevin, before we let you go, and I want to get your thoughts on something that's I want to say it's borderline creepy, but I want to get your opinion on it. When you Google your name, Kevin, when you Google it and you do a Google search on Kevin VanDam, some of the first things that come up are in this order: Kevin VanDam's net worth, Kevin VanDam's house, Kevin VanDam's wife. What? Is that just bizarre? Or come on, man. Is it me or is that weird and bizarre?
I've never Googled myself. So
It's weird, right? I mean, what does that mean? Where's our intern? Eric, what does that mean if it's at the top of the Google search? If Kevin VanDam's wife
I don't
is
know
number 3 on, what does that mean?
Means people are creepy.
I don't know about that, but your top searches are house, net worth, and wife.
My
as well.
top 3 are too?
Yes, they are. You have it right here.
That's so creepy.
house and wife are always the top.
All right, whose net worth is
People
higher?
are weird, man.
That's so creepy.
You would think it'd be something about crankbaits or,
Yeah.
you know, geez.
You think it'd be your boat?
Nah.
Yeah, you think it'd be your boat or your rods or techniques or no?
It's your wife and your house, dude.
And net worth, house, and wife are the top three. How weird that is, man.
Yeah. Gluttonous goddamn people.
Yeah.
Dudes are creepy.
People are strange, man.
No doubt.
People are strange. I want to ask you this again real quick. 25, number 25 happened 2 tournaments ago. Big moment for you. Any change in your opinion on retirement after number 25?
Hung up the phone.
That's awesome.
Did that just happen?
Is that a yes?
That's a mic drop.
You went one step too far.
I just wanted to know. We asked him
Dude,
that last time.
You're
we had
asking
him on.
about his net worth, his wife,
No,
and now whether he's going to retire.
Hey, that was just a simple question.
That's the first mic drop ever on Ike Live.
We had a mic drop.
Yeah.
Click.
I mean, it was just a simple question. I don't know.
Look at BTC working feverishly behind the scenes.
Feverishly to try to get Kevin
Get this
back.
back. That's funny.
There were some other people that had questions for him, dude. They
There
got
is.
completely ignored.
Did
man.
we have any questions? Oh, yeah.
there were all
Well,
kinds.
if
We
Kevin
had-
comes back, we might have Matt Lee join us, too. I don't know. That was
Back live.
Oh, we're back. Kevin, did you hang up on us and do a mic drop?
No, you guys up on me just for effect.
Brian, you're good, man. You're good, Brian.
Wait, I got one thing to say.
Yeah.
Kevin's number he called here came up as Bass Pro Shops.
And it came up as Bass Pro Shop.
I swear to God, it came up as Bass Pro Shops.
We're blocked by Bass Pro
We
Shop,
are.
so
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. Kevin, I got to ask you. I think you've been on Ike Live probably more than any other pro we've ever had on this show, and I think I've asked you probably the last 3 times. I want to ask you again. Any change in your thought on retirement now that you've won 25?
People just, I mean, I go and win the tournament, and I bet I got asked by at least 8 or 10 different media people if what about retirement? I'm like, geez, when you go and win, you sure don't feel like you want to retire. God. I think I got a couple good casts left in me. No,
Just the rest of the
do
field
it
is
because
hoping.
I love it, and as long as I'm having fun, I think I'm gonna keep hanging on out there. I got a couple more good shots in me, I think.
Good. Well, I got to tell you, in that short time that we had the call dropped, we actually had a very special reoccurring guest come in, and it's weird because this dude's just popping in. He lives in Alabama, but somehow he keeps showing up to Ike Live Studios. Kevin, Matt Lee, Jordan's brother, joins us real quick, and I think he wants to ask you something. Matt?
Ah, man. Hey, Kevin. Congratulations. Sick of you.
What did you say? Sick of him, Matt? What did you say? I didn't.
Totally sick of him, man. Winning. Hey, congratulations. You got a response?
Man, I'm sick of you.
He's sick of you too, Matt. So take that.
I go punch a punch with your damn nephew any day of the week. I mean, I'm sidekick with your sidekick nephew. I kick his ass.
Matt, did you drive all that way to just say that?
All this way. Kevin, congratulations. You going to acknowledge me or you going to keep quiet?
I appreciate that, Matt. That's very nice of you. I'll see you in Texas. I'm going to make sure to come and find you.
I'm not hard to find. I'll be the second chucking boat behind my brother. Just kidding. He wins on all my spots, just like your nephew does you.
I get it.
All right, Matt.
What kind of advice you got for me, Kevin?
You got to get in front of your brother. I'm behind.
I'm trying. But he's faster than me.
How much helium is in that balloon?
Oh my
You've been sucking on it for like 20 minutes.
Now, in closing, Kevin, congratulations. You're the best. I love you, man. Can I have some of your wife's cookies?
Oh, there you have it.
There you go.
There it goes. I'm going to end it with that. Thanks for joining us again, Matt Lee, everybody. Wow, he didn't curse as much this time as he did last
He
time.
got yelled at last time, I
I
think.
know.
I don't think Matt's any going to be any more pleased.
No, I don't think so.
He'll face punch you.
Kevin, thanks for joining us. We're going to let you go. Before we let you go, we know you got a big trip tomorrow. I'm headed out on Sunday morning. I'd want you to let everybody know we've got the Ike Foundation, but you've got a foundation too, and I'm super proud of the work you're doing there. You've got the KVD Foundation. Tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing and how they could help.
Well, it's something really is with my wife's, idea to start the foundation. I think we've been up and running for about 5 years, and my goal is because I've been so lucky to be able to make a living at fishing, is to try to provide more opportunities for not just kids, but for everybody to get more involved in fishing. So we do a lot with different kids camps and things like that, provide tackle and that through through some of our fundraising efforts and that. I've did some fundraisers with the Detroit Lions and things like that, but so we do that. We also do scholarships for collegiate fishing. We try to just try to help people get more involved in it, and also in educating young people about conservation and the importance of keeping our lakes and rivers clean and better for the future. And as you know, I think fishing's better than it's ever been nationally.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great success stories there and stuff. And we're actually, even this year, I'm really excited. We're actually starting a new college tour. We're part of it. Sherry and I are with the foundation. My brother's sponsoring it too, and we've got a lot of great companies involved in helping that out. But just try to create a really good platform with opportunities for these young anglers. To be able to step it up, and not only, is it going to help a lot of kids have a chance at becoming a pro angler, but the biggest thing is just enjoy that lifelong passion for fishing. A lot of these college anglers, and I've got a couple of them that I've kind of watched grow up that are fishing the national or the championship at Cherokee right now, and they actually. They're in like 28th place, so they made the cut to fish tomorrow. I've watched them grow up. I've watched their career go. They got into college fishing, and you just see what it can do. Look what it did for Matt and Jordan Lee. So
Yeah.
So that's a big initiative for us too. And the biggest thing is to just get people out on the water, let them experience, what it's like, and whether you want to do it competitive like we do or just go out there for fun. I think it's just important for people to enjoy the resource and take care of it for the future. So that's what we're all about, is provide more opportunities for people to get on the water, provide the equipment for them to do it, and a platform for these young anglers to be able to chase their dreams.
That's awesome. And that's, you gotta, the next generation, we've got to keep involved. And that's so important, what you're doing and keep it going. Real quick, Kevin, before we let you go, one last question. We've got a very special guest on the couch here tonight. We've got a fellow by the name of John McGraw, who's a good old friend of ours, high school buddy.
Hey, Kevin.
Good. And John, I'm gonna ask it for him because John's a little shy. He's always been a little shy. And during this time that we had the interview, he scribbled this down on a piece of paper, and he just showed a piece of paper to me and says, please don't forget about me. Ask Kevin this question. So I'm going to go ahead and ask it for John McGraw. And John's question to you, even though he's sitting right here, is, Kevin. And this is how he wrote it too.
In that voice too.
In this
Kevin.
voice too.
Just so you
This is
know.
how he wrote it.
Kevin.
Kevin. As a struggling angler that has problems catching fish, How do you tell the difference between a snag and a bite?
And it's AKA Brian Stockwell the Carpenter. It's like kicking that
I
one
set
out.
the hook on everything.
Set the hook on everything. There you have it, John. There's your answer.
Better to be the fool or
Better to appear the fool than to be the fool.
To act the fool.
That's right.
Or whatever it is.
There you have
Something full.
Yeah.
Full was
it.
involved.
John, your life has just changed.
I've always been a fan of
Set the
Kevin
hook on
VanDam.
every stump you can.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Break it off.
break it off.
Break it off.
Oh man, Kevin, thank you for joining us tonight, and congratulations on number 25. What an awesome win! And travel safe tomorrow, and we'll see you next week at Lake Travis.
You betcha, man. Looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's better than our last run, dude.
Yeah, let's have a top 10 together. I'll even take a second or a third to you if that works.
Yeah, I hear you. We got to have a good week. So, good talking to you guys, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks
We'll
so
see
much.
you.
Kevin,
Thank
congrats
you.
again.
Kevin VanDam, everybody.
Woo! KBD.
John, you didn't have to be embarrassed. You could have just asked yourself.
That was funny.
But, like,
I
I was,
like he did his voice.
Yeah, the boys were good.
I was serious. His number came up as Bass Pro Shops.
I know. Man, when you're dialed in, like,
Yeah, but did you know when you call into like Fear Fishing, is it Tackle Warehouse?
no, it's not. No, Kevin's got a special relationship with Bass Pro Shops and Johnny Morrison, and it's amazing, and I'm sure there's a lot of perks and benefits that
That's awesome,
that are
dude.
included with that.
Good for him.
Which obviously is,
I'd
there's
say
no
he-
phone bill.
Do you
I'd say
think
he's
when
earned
Kevin? Do you think when Kevin like walks into a Bass Pro Shops, like flower girls are throwing roses?
Dude, I'm sure. I actually,
You know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you. I saw something. Which
He's like, piss boy.
no,
Over the bucket.
you're joking, but I think it's true. I went to Toyota. has
Wipers?
owner- Yeah, no, it's true. Toyota have their owner tournament every year now at Table Rock. And so we get to go to Bass Pro Shops in Springfield, which is one of the original stores. And I swear to you, dude, I was there. Was it last year or the year before? And we're kind of just there, and we're eating dinner, and there's a golf range out back, and we hit some balls, and then we're like, everything's closing up, and we're like, Kevin's just like, oh, come in, man, let's show you. Come down here, I'll show you something. And it's like this private room for all the golfers. And dude, I shit you not, dude, on this one wall, there's 6 giant lockers. The rest of the room, regular size lockers. 6 giant lockers. Jack Nicholson, let's say Tiger Woods, all these famous golfers. And then right there, they all
Yeah.
have plaques. Kevin VanDam.
Woo! He's
Right
like,
there.
piss boy.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
That's great. Yes.
Wait for the shake.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Wait for the shake. Yeah.
He's earned that.
He's earned it, man.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
awesome. Good
What
for
a
him.
baller.
25 wins, man.
25 what, dude? That's
God.
in,
Damn.
5 classics, 7 angler years.
it's insane.
Roland
It's insane.
is in second with 19, right?
I think so. Yeah.
No
19
one will
wins.
beat what Kevin did.
No.
Nah.
It's impossible.
Uh-uh.
It's impossible.
But you know what? Oh, will he ever catch Roland in Angler of the Year titles? He needs 2 more.
Oh, is that what it is?
Maybe. I think if he stays at it another 10 years, I think he'll do it.
Maybe.
10.
That's my guess.
You gotta
I'd
understand.
say if he stay at it another 10 years,
He
he'd
did
Sounds like
this
he's got
before
it in
the-
him.
I think he'd do it.
But he did this before the information booth.
Oh yeah.
Now that it's all an equal plane
Oh yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like,
That's
what's
that's,
next?
It's
you
hard.
know?
It's hard to compare.
Yeah.
I mean, but the other thing is you don't want to discount either. Like I had this question so many times. The days of Bill Dance and Nixon and Denny and all these old time guys, Roland, are they would never compete now. But I don't think you can do that.
KBD
you know what I
is
mean?
Brady. KBD is Tom Brady.
He's Tom Brady.
He's Tom Brady.
He's Tom Brady,
man.
and he's transcendent over generations of anglers. But I think Roland and Bill Dance in their heyday
Would've
was
been.
as good as Jordan Lee today.
More dominant.
Absolutely.
Roland's
More
the best.
dominant.
And you can't discount either one, especially the old generation. You can't discount them because they at that time they were the deal.
Roland has the only show that I will click on Outdoor Network and watch no matter what point of the show it's
Son.
in. No matter what.
Oh,
man,
son.
I will watch that show.
Son.
It is he's still the best, man. Roland in my mind. Roland KVD.
He's great.
You know?
Brian the Carpenter, by the way, I know we have a lot of crazy cockamamie ideas, but still, to this day, I want to do an old-timer show on here.
Oh.
Dude, that's still, for me, it's the holy grail for Ike Live. It's to do a show where we have
Roland.
Jimmy Houston and Roland, or Roland and Bill Dance,
Yeah.
or we track Orlando Wilson out of the grave.
Come on, dude. Orlando Wilson was key.
Dude.
What about Hank Parker?
Hank Parker. I mean, all
Let's try
those
to get
guys.
somebody up here, man.
But getting them here would be cool, but just having them
Come
via
on.
Skype or
Yeah.
via phone would be
You got
unbelievable.
him to let you wear his hat. You got to be able to get him in.
Orlando
studio.
Wilson was the last one before Kung Fu Theater came on,
Oh.
dude. I would watch Orlando Wilson jump right up from there, right to Kung Fu Theater, dude.
What a cool mix that
Shit,
is,
yeah,
man.
dude. Yeah.
I think it'd be easier to get Bill Dance in studio than Mike sometimes. True story.
That's
Hey,
funny.
Pete.
Mike's a busy man.
That's funny.
While we're here, you're fishing the Open on Champlain coming up in, what is it, August?
Yeah, me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess it is August or September.
something like that.
Mhm.
Dean Sylvester hit me up. You know Dean, the Australian guy?
Yep.
Dean's awesome. Dean's looking for a boat. If you know anybody, or if anybody out there in that region of the country's got a boat he could borrow for that event.
Dean, I
do.
have a Coleman Crawdad you
Yeah.
can borrow.
Yeah, Hobie
Yeah.
PA-12.
You got to stay
It
real
would
close
save
to the
him a
ramp.
lot from getting the, I guess it's the Federation boat, from like halfway across the country to Champlain for him to
Right.
use.
Dean
So-
better call
I
Carol
got a
Joxman.
I got a bass cap, but it needs a starter.
Well,
Yeah.
all jokes aside, I thought I'd throw it out there in
Maybe-
case anybody's in the area.
Yeah.
Dean, don't
No,
let
that's
Brian near whatever boat you rent.
That's a fact.
So,
Keep him away, Dean.
What is
Keep 'em
Dean
away.
sponsored by a boat company?
I don't think so.
You have a boat, yo.
I don't know.
Well, they might be able to make one available.
They have boats in Australia?
Not over here.
do they have boats in Australia?
We do, mate. You cracker.
Cracker. All right, Brian the Carpenter, I'm thinking we take a break
Yeah.
and we come back and we end the last segment with Gene Gilliland.
Yeah, Gilligan.
And
Gilligan!
and
Asian carp.
and we're gonna do another couple trivia questions. When we come
Yeah,
back,
nobody
right at the
nobody
top.
got the one, the last one, the bait that
Cool.
John
So
made.
I get to keep that gift prize then.
I'll take it.
Lindy jig, somebody just said.
Lindy
New York
Jigs is
Chris,
not
you're
correct.
not
I want to know the answer.
I
You
know
wanna
the
give the
answer.
answer.
It's
Hold on, here's another clue.
another clue.
Big claw.
Okay, here's the last two clues, and if somebody doesn't get it, come back from the break. We're gonna go on. The last couple clues to what jig was the sort of
Yeah, there's a whole shitload of answers.
premise of the stone jig for the general shape. What jig was the predecessor for that? The company that made it was Pradco. It was a Pradco brand bait. And the trailer they marketed it with was a Riverside Big Claw. One last one. Zell Rowland actually won a Lake Gunnersville tournament using this jig. 3 hints to the name of the jig
Yep.
that was the predecessor to the Manstone jig.
I have no idea.
Okay. If you get that right, you're gonna win yourself a Ike Live gift pack. All right, Brian Carpenter, I'm gonna pause everybody here. Listen to me. You are watching Ike Live on a Friday night. It's been a great show. We've had Wesley Strader. We've had Kevin VanDam. Hang in there with us when we come back. One more segment, and we've got Gene Gilliland on to talk about Asian carp. Good, bad, ugly, and different. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Asian carp with Gene Gilliland, the conservation director for bass. Hang in there with us. We'll be right back.